Hello, everyone. Today is a special video. No, I'm just kidding. It's not really, but it is something new because this is something that I haven't done before. This is my two experiences with ketamine. Now, I have been doing drugs for quite a while, right? And I have never found ketamine. 2 years I've been looking for this shit. Finally found it like a month. I'd say it was about a month ago at this point. And definitely did not disappoint. So I'll be recounting two particular experiences with it, which are the only two I've had because I take very long breaks because tolerance and addiction. Anyway, first experience was my first experience with it. I was just testing the waters with just bumps. I think I took about maybe 150 milligrams by the end of the night. I didn't K-hole because I didn't do them close together enough. But my first thoughts were like, this feels like a low dose of DXM, but like cleaner. Almost like if you took DXM and like Coke, which is something I've never done, but I can just kind of picture it. There's honestly not much notable about that experience. It was interesting. It was fun. I will admit I was a little bit disappointed because I thought it would last a lot longer. And I thought there would be more hallucinations. There's not much in the way of hallucinations. There's some, but definitely not as much as I thought there would be. So I was a bit disappointed at that. Then we have the second experience, and this one is probably one of the best experiences I've ever had on any hallucinogen. But this was a combination of mushrooms and ketamine. So the experience started out with me eating like 1.5 grams of mushrooms, and then I went downstairs and got orange juice because it tasted like shit. And I came back up and took another, the remaining 0.5. And this isn't that important, but, it was just like 10 minutes apart, so maybe it was a bit important. I don't know. Anyway, so I was playing CSGO, just waiting around, chilling around, not really doing much. And then, how long would that be? It's about an hour. Yeah, an hour later. So nothing, it's 2 grams, that's not that much, but it is something. But, I was feeling it a little bit. So I was like, okay, it's been an hour. It's about time to bust out the K. So I scaled out. It was about 160 milligrams total. So before I put that aside and I took out 2 50 milligram bumps and I just took them, and I was like going to take a shower and wait, but then I was like, you know what, I want to catch it all in a short period of time so I can K-hole nicely. So I remember I was just watching YouTube. I couldn't really feel either substance too much at this point, but they were working together to make something very, very strange. It was like exactly out of a dream, physically wasn't much, visually wasn't much, but mentally I felt like I was in a lucid dream, which is very strange. So at that point, at about 10 o'clock, I joined a voice chat in Discord with this guy, and he was huffing Duster. I've huffed Duster a couple times. I don't know why I was in voice chat with them, but it was a very, very strange experience to start off my trip because I don't know if you've ever huffed Duster or seen someone huff Duster. You know what I'm talking about. They have that weird face and you do the weird stuff and whatever. It was very strange. So anyway, at this point I was definitely feeling the K a lot more, and the visuals were starting to take place. There wasn't much, but there was tracers and everything kind of looked like it was overlaid, and there was like this weird like pinkish hue to everything, you could say. So that was, 10, 13. I took 2 more bumps because I was deciding to start my K-hole journey. So, yeah. So, when I was starting, I started it. I was going to take them 10 minutes, 50 milligram bumps every 10 minutes, 2 bumps, too. 100 milligrams every 10 minutes, basically what it was. So I was watching Critical, the French fry review, and I felt like I was in the truck with them, really, reviewing the French fries, and I didn't want to eat any French fries, but I felt like I was eating them, and I was like, damn, I could taste them almost by their descriptions of them, which was very interesting. So yeah, and then 10 minutes later, I took my other ones. There's not much important in between those moments, but anyway, that was then at 11, I typed, I'll just read what I typed. Holy shit, I honestly don't think words can explain what I just saw. At one point, I turned into a cube and I boldly kept morphine into these fucking shapes and shit, and I kept, entering into these bright, colored rooms, and holy shit, the visuals are unviable. I feel like a solid state, but also free roaring liquid. This is probably oiling the trip dust combos. What? At one point, I went to the bathroom. That shit fucked me up. It was so crazy. Liquid was putting me tried A, and then I passed out mid-sentence doing that last thing. So, yeah, that was very weird. But I will actually do the actual explanation of it now at this point. So, the first 2 bumps, this is the first 2, an hour after I took the shrooms, I felt like it was hitting really a lot harder than before, because the first time I took them, I actually had to take 4 bumps to feel anything, but this time it was only 2, so that was something. So I was just watching the video, and after taking the second pair of bumps, I really, really quickly, I was feeling like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna fall into a hole. So I turned on Visions by Grimes, one of my favorite DXM albums. Second favorite, The Cure Disintegration takes that spot for number 1, but Visions is it's definitely number 2. So immediately upon closing my eyes, I had this rush of a mixture of fear and joy, because I didn't know what was happening. I had this kind of fear of dying, like you would in an ego death, but eventually I got over it, because my body, I felt my mind lifting out of my body, and I felt my body underneath my mind shift into this shape. I didn't know what shape it was. I felt whatever. I'll explain. Whatever, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, the visuals were this mix of gear, industrial landscape, and this space cosmic mix of visuals. It's the mushrooms are all spacey, and the ketamine was all industrial. So I don't really remember all of it, but I can definitely isolate certain moments. So for one, I remember my body turning into a cube, and I was floating down into a vent that had these walls. And if anyone's ever seen Suspiria, at the end of that movie, there's these shots with blankets and colors. There's a lot of colors in that movie. They're shooting from behind these blankets, blue, red, and green and whatever, and it was that in the vent. Each side of the vent was shining a different color, and they were rotating and changing colors, and I was this cube going through the vent. And that was really fucking crazy. So eventually, it was this slow descent, and then the vent turned upwards, and I shot straight up into the air. And this is a little bit weird to describe. I split into 4 pieces. The cube would cut into 4 pieces, and I could see all 4 pieces. I was watching 4 TVs at once. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't see my hand. I don't know why I'm fucking doing that. But, if you put 4 TVs on a cube, on a square, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So there was, I was typing in each, square cube vision. I was typing these different sentences into each, different Discord server, which comes into play later. So, yeah. And then I was enveloped in, this weird, just, these landscapes of industrial space, whatever. I can't even describe that, but it was breathtaking. And then I had another memory, which was I felt like I was being catapulted forward, and I was looping, if you put tied a piece of string to a metal beam, and then you just took it and you just looped it around itself. the string around the beam. I was like the string, and I was looping around this beam, and I was looping it like through this like gaping, like almost like mouths of alligators that were like colored with like red and purple and green, and it was pulsating exactly with my music. And then I was floating in this river, just barely. I wasn't actually in the water, but I was barely above it. I could like almost feel it, but not quite. And then it was just like pitch black. And then I woke up. This is something weird because I woke up in the middle of the K-hole, and I was lucid and seeing myself, but I wasn't actually making these decisions. So I woke up, I got up, I didn't woke up, I just got up and I went to the bathroom because like I remember I was getting up to earlier before the K-hole actually hit, I was getting up to turn off my lights and I could not walk. It was so hard to get there. But in the heat of this K-hole bathroom trip, I was walking perfectly straight. So I opened my door, and the whole scenery just changed. It was like the door like opened, and my whole hallway was just some fucking like other realm. And that was the same thing for the bathroom. So I went and I pissed, and I was staring at my robe because I don't know, I just didn't want to stare at something, and it lifted itself off of my floor, and like it picked itself out of my field of vision, and it cut itself into like, you know how when you cut a mango, you slice it and then you peel like the peel back, and it just looks fucking weird. Like my robe did that, and then it like reformed into its original shape. So anyway, I picked it up, walked back to my room, and I still wasn't actually like mentally functioning. Like I was still in that state of seeing myself but not working, and I went back to my room, laid down, closed my eyes, had the exact same rush of like bliss and fear. And oh man, I can't even begin to describe like the feeling of closing your eyes when you're falling into a K-hole. It's like this super euphoric just rush of like, holy shit, complete immersion. The immersion is like indescribable in itself. It's really, really insane. I've never been that disconnected from my body on any of the high dose psychedelics or just weird combinations or anything. I have never had that happen. No, actually not even on salvia, surprisingly. Maybe on nitrous and DXM I did, but it was for like 5 seconds, and this was for hours. Like it was actually only 1 hour, which is another thing. This whole experience was 1 hour, but it felt like it was like 20 million years. And also during the second half of the cave hole, I don't really remember anything, but I do remember feeling myself turn into a liquid, and then like these various shapes of like really like, I would turn into like a square again, and then I would turn into some like super complex geometrical shape. I don't even know what it would be called, but I know what it looks like. I'll probably put a picture of it, but I turned into that stuff, and it was crazy. So I also remember at the end, when I was opening my eyes, like my fan would duplicate and turn into like this extraterrestrial like cricket cricket creature. Oh, what the fuck? And then it would just turn back. So in regards to that Discord thing, I actually went up to a server and like typed monkey logic into the chat, which is one of the phrases that I saw myself typing in the K-hole. This is like a theme of like seeing the future on dissociatives. It's happened so many times on DXM, and yeah, I didn't actually see the future, because what most likely happened was I just typed it because I remembered it in the K-hole. But still, there's just that feeling, and it's like, holy shit, So anyway, in retrospect, holy shit, like K-hole is insane, and with mushrooms, it's even more insane. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. So yeah, bye.